And our next recruit now is Trenton Swanson. He's a 6'2", $195 wide receiver out of Camas, Washington, just out near Vancouver, Washington, kind of out in the Portland area. For him, I believe he is a walk-on just based off of the offer that he tweeted out when he got offered by Idaho. So there is that. He does kind of play. I think he is listed as a wide receiver when on his signing day release on the Idaho website. But kind of watching his huddle tape so far, the dude can play, I want to say, almost anywhere. He plays a lot of positions for him. Patrick, what are your thoughts on Trenton?
Yeah, he's another one of those recruits that I didn't get to watch a lot of film on. I just didn't quite get to his film. Overall, he looks like a solid receiver. He looks like, a solid quality walk-on type guy. He coming in with good size for a receiver, and he moves relatively well. He doesn't have eye-popping speed or agility, but, I think he's one of those guys that's going to be consistent with his hands. He's going to go catch the ball. And I mean, he can make guys miss. He's like, for some reason, he is just so hard to tackle for teams. Like, there's some clips here where he just breaks like 8 or 9 tackles. So he must just have a really strong lower body. But he's one of those guys like that. He doesn't have a specific trait that like blows your mind when you watch his film, but he just overall looks consistent, and he produced well in high school. And I mean, I think
I saw this highlight tape he had close. He just had like 1,196 total yards and like 8 touchdowns, which is for a high schooler is really good.
Yep, you only play you play maybe 12 games with a playoff run in high school. Well, 13 or something like that, like 13 games with a playoff run. He was a punt returner in high school and produced well at that spot, but I don't see him really returning punts at Idaho with some guys in this recruiting class that just look like more athletic and faster punt returners to me. Overall, he just, he looks like a consistent, solid dude. He's tough to bring down. He's going to be consistent hands. Looks like a decent route runner. Just, overall quality walk-on type recruit.
I know this is like only I believe our second preferred walk-on that we've talked about here, but something I've noticed with as Idaho, as with Eck as obviously the coach now, I've noticed with like who Idaho offers like preferred walk-ons to, it's not just guys like lower league, like D2 type of guys. There is the quality of preferred walk-on that Idaho is offering has risen dramatically compared to the Petrino era.
Yeah. Like all I really have to say is he looks quality, and especially for a walk-on, and he's like a dude that just produced. Like, he doesn't have a specific trait or athletic ability that you're sitting there and like, oh my gosh, he made a couple nutty catches with like, one hand behind the head catches, but like, I mean, every D1 receiver can make a good catch every once in a while. So, overall, he just looks solid.
Oh yeah, and it's maybe one of those guys that maybe we don't see a lot of at wide receiver, but with what he's played at like wide receiver, kick returner, punt returner, I think some safeties, what he was also listed on his huddle. Maybe he's one of those players that just plays a lot of special teams and keeps Idaho at the top, hopefully the top spot in special teams in the conference, which is something that I know, obviously with Thomas Ford moving on, but still like take pride in having like a really great special teams is something that if you're going to be playing in the national title game, you're playing for national titles, you need great special teams.
Yeah, that's what all the elite programs do, special teams well. Montana, North Dakota State, South Dakota State. I think all of those teams had punt return touchdowns in the playoffs, and they all had to hit field goals in the playoffs. I could definitely see him being more of a special team type specialist guy. A guy like, I don't know, Sean McCormick was a dude that was like almost a special team specialist, and he was just playmaker on special teams. He didn't really see the field on defense very much, but he played super well at special teams. I think he could be a potential guy like that.
Oh yeah, 100% agree with you on those comments. Kind kind of almost say the Sean McCormick-esque type of comment with that. Patrick, any final thoughts on Trenton, or are you ready to move on to our next signing?
Yeah, no, I think it's just good that Idaho's getting more overall depth, because sometimes there's teams, like I know Eastern has been bad with this sometimes, is when you have a bunch of starters out on special teams, they're just tired. They tire out. Like, these dudes aren't robots. They get tired when they have to run sprints on kickoff every couple plays, especially when your team like Eastern that scores a lot. So I think it's just good to have guys that can step in there and give your starting guy, your starting defense, starting offense a break.
Oh, I agree with you on that. One thing I want to forget before we move on, as always, Tales of the Club is brought to you by Hughes River Expedition and Snake River Stampede Whiskey. And with that, go